Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Atlanta Falcons today. We're going to jump into some trade ideas today. And what I wanted to do is not only give you a player the Falcons could trade away or trade for, but an actual projected trade, a mock trade. There's a team, there's a pick in exchange, there's player in exchange. I'm going to give you some ideas on what things could look like if the Falcons want to go ahead and make some moves at the trade deadline. Now, again, talked about in this video last week, there's no guarantee the Falcons are going to be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. Sitting at 3-3 with not a lot of money to go ahead and kind of acquire new contracts. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy, but there are some moves here that I think have a chance to go ahead and happen. Whenever I give you a mock trade in this video, I'm going to give you my trade grade as well, scale of 1 to 5, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, in terms of would I want it to happen or not for the Atlanta Falcons. So, with the rules set, let's jump into a trade that I think is very likely to happen. I don't know if it's going to be this team specifically, but this one makes a lot of sense, and it is Hayden Hurst. So, I have the Buffalo Bills going ahead and acquiring the tight end Hayden Hurst because they need a little help at the tight end position. The Falcons would then get a 2022 conditional 6th round draft pick that could become a 5th if Hurst plays enough games. I think conditional picks are something that's happening a lot right now in the National Football League, and so I would go ahead and throw that in as what the Bills would go ahead and give up to go ahead and require a guy like Hayden Hurst. Now, my grade on this trade is a 4 out of 5. Like, this to me would be a great trade for the Atlanta Falcons for a couple of reasons. One, Hayden Hurst isn't doing much. He had a couple of catches in the game on Sunday in that win against the Miami Dolphins, but it's very clearly the Kyle Pitts show. And Kyle Pitts is going to be such a feature of this offense, not just as he is already, but going forward, that there just isn't really a need for Hayden Hurst. And even though he is a luxury and having a backup tight end is, I think, important in the National Football League, I don't think he's that important to where the Falcons would not consider trading him away. And so whether it's the Buffalo Bills or another team in the NFL who wants to go ahead and upgrade their tight end position, I think Hurst is definitely an option to go ahead and move off of because, again, it's not signaling that you're going to be a seller. It's more signaling that Kyle Pitts is the guy, as obviously he is, and you want to free up a little bit of cap space in the organization as well. So I like the idea of trading away Hayden Hurst. I give it a 4 out of 5, and I think it's probably likely to actually happen over the next couple of days here as we get closer to the November 3rd trade deadline. Now, name a player you guys think the Falcons should trade away or even could trade away. Is there one name on the current Atlanta Falcons roster you think could be moved by the trade deadline? I think Hurst probably is my most likely candidate, hence why I gave it a high grade. But give me your thoughts down below right now in the pinned comment in the comment section. Now, the next internal trade candidate, we'll do one more internal and then bring in some guys on the other side here as we keep going in this video. I don't think this is going to happen, but it must at least be acknowledged, and that is Calvin Ridley. How about a mock trade where we send Calvin Ridley to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 2022 second-round draft pick? Now, this makes sense for both teams because Philadelphia needs help at wide receiver, and they also have a ton of draft picks, so you could technically try and wiggle a first out of them. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Ridley's worth a second or a third-round draft pick, but Philadelphia has the capital and the cap space to go ahead and make this move actually happen. Now, my grade on this would be kind of low because I want to keep Calvin Ridley, maybe a 2 out of 5, but you also have to look at what Calvin Ridley has done so far this year, as we'll do here in just one second, and kind of go, and maybe trading him away actually makes sense. Now, if they do trade him away, we'll obviously have it covered here. And again, I don't think it's going to happen, but that's why I gave it such a low grade. But I wanted to give you guys a quick chance to subscribe here to the channel as we're so close to 3,800 subs. We're at 3,773 that we want you guys to help by going down below and hitting that red subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest Falcons news and rumors, including trade stuff. If it happens, if they were to do the impossible and trade away Calvin Ridley, we'd cover it here on the channel. Again, this is not a referendum on the Falcons not needing another wide receiver, because I think that they definitely need Calvin Ridley to go ahead and be maybe a playoff team this year, but he's just not producing at the level that we kind of had hoped and expected him to do. I mean, he's just not been that true number one target. It feels like he's kind of playing at a number 2 level, and if that's the case, you already have Kyle Pitts. Russell Gage came back from injury, caught a touchdown pass on Sunday. I think they could potentially look to get rid of Calvin Ridley, even though I would not want them to do it. I just want to include him here on my list of 5. Let's get into some players that they could go ahead and trade for, not trade away, and we'll start with the running back spot and one Marlon Mack. This has been floated around a lot the past couple of weeks. The Colts aren't really using Marlon Mack. He was great 2 years ago, dealing with an injury this past year, but I think you could get him for pennies on the dollar. I think this could be a 2022 4th-round draft pick, maybe a 5th-round draft pick to the Colts. That'd be enough to go ahead and get it done. Like, I would love this. This is a 5 out of 5 trade grade for me overall, because not only are you getting a guy who is a very good running back, he's not on a very expensive deal, and he goes into a position group that you really need a little bit of help with. Like, each of the last 4 years, you've had running backs on this roster who really haven't done much. Like, Cordell Patterson's your leading rusher on the team right now, and of course, he's fantastic, but he's not really the guy you want to be the number one running back, and I think I keep stressing that to Falcon fans every single week here. But after Patterson, Gurley was 28th overall in rushing. Devontae Freeman was 28th in 2019. Tevin Coleman was 22nd in 2018. Like, they've not had a top 10 rushing running back in terms of yards per season in a very long time. It was like 2016, the last time it happened, and that was Devontae Freeman. That was 5 years ago. I think the Falcons 100% should go ahead and add another running back, and to me, Marlon Mack is at the top of that list due to the fact that he's cheap, and I think would give an instant 1-2 punch of him and Patterson that would be very scary, because right now, Patterson scares you, but of course, Mike Davis really doesn't at all. Do you guys think the Falcons need to trade for another running back? Like, would you be totally for getting Marlon Mack? If you would, type Y down below for yes. If you would not, go down below and type N down below for no. Now, I want to quickly substitute Mack for Miles Sanders. We talked about this last week. I think that if you didn't want to make a move for Marlon Mack or worry about his injury, Miles Sanders is definitely an option up there in Philadelphia. Now, he tweaked his ankle in the loss on Sunday to the Las Vegas Raiders, but if he's healthy enough to be able to be traded, Sanders would make a lot of sense because the Eagles aren't using him, and the Falcons could 100% utilize him in the backfield. He's great catching the ball in the backfield, which Arthur Smith definitely values. I would be very okay if you didn't want Mack to substitute Miles Sanders in there as well, and it'd be like the same trade, like a 2022nd fourth-round draft pick, maybe a little bit more in terms of like a fourth and a sixth, but it just wouldn't cost a lot, and he's cheap, which would be fantastic. And then you just kind of slide Mike Davis down. I mean, you didn't pay him that much money this offseason, and so eventually he just kind of rides off into the sunset in terms of being a free agent, but you can keep him in there for pass protection, and that running back depth chart becomes just a lot better overall with an addition of a Mack or a guy like Miles Sanders. Now, before we get into another trade that I think could make sense, and the one that is going to be a little controversial, and you guys are going to say, oh my gosh, Thomas, that would never happen, but I still want to present it to you. Probably the reason you clicked on this video. Before we get into that, quick shout out to our friends at BetUS, the platform I use each and every week to place my bets on the National Football League. Chatsports.com/betfalcons is the link that you need. Use our promo code Falcons125 to get a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up, meaning you sign up using our link and promo code, put $100 down into your betting account, essentially. They turn it into a $225 to bet using that deposit bonus. And you can follow my bets of the week. We've talked about bets of the week each and every week here. I'm 20 and 13 this year, so we're making money over here on betting either for the Atlanta Falcons on Atlanta Falcons today or betting against the Atlanta Falcons. We've done both here on the channel, or just normal betting in general in terms of the NFL. So jump in on the betting. Chatsports.com/betfalcons. Promo code is Falcons125. All right, I saved the... I mean, it's either be the best or worst for last. I don't know. I want your guys' thoughts on this. How about Saquon Barkley? There have been trades coming out of New York saying that the Giants can be sellers at the trade deadline because the Giants are absolutely trashed. And so, why not Saquon Barkley? Like, let's say you really want to upgrade the running back spot and that, Arthur Smith wants, say, a true ace in the hole in terms of being a running back. He had Derrick Henry at one time, didn't have a guy like that on the roster. What about Barkley? It wouldn't cost a lot. I think you'd get him for like a third-round draft pick. I know he's a former first-round draft pick, but he's been banged up a lot. He's injured right now, and he's still on that rookie deal to the point that I think Atlanta could just dangle a third and maybe like a fifth or a sixth if they had to. I think just a third, though, and bring in a guy like Barkley. I mean, my trade grade on this would be a 3 out of 5. If he's healthy, this would be fantastic. If he's going to be injured the rest of his career, then it might not be that smart of a move, but think about a third-round draft pick next year on a running back versus Saquon Barkley, who was like the 4th overall pick just a couple of years ago. I would love to go ahead and bring in a guy like Barkley, and I think the Falcons would benefit from that greatly. Now, again, the odds of this happening in terms of Barkley are way less than Miles Sanders or even a Marlon Mack, but I wanted to include him here on this video because I would like the idea, and I think Matt Ryan and the Falcons as a whole would like it as well. Let's recap some of these trades. Hayden Hurst to the Bills, to me, makes a ton of sense from a tight end perspective. Really a win-win for both teams. Ridley to the Eagles. They got a ton of draft picks, and they need a wide receiver. And if you don't think Calvin Ridley is going to be a 1 going forward, then maybe you get rid of him now before his trade value diminishes a little bit, even though I'm against that. Marlon Mack and Miles Sanders both make a lot of sense. I think those are the two trades that absolutely should happen, or at least one of the two should happen for the Atlanta Falcons. And finally, Saquon Barkley could be another running back option if you wanted to make a big splash at the deadline, and you think that you can really make a run at the 7th seed in the NFL, or in the NFC playoff picture. Which of these trades do you like the most? Do you have one that you like more than the others? Let me know which one you guys like down below right now. Mine is Marlon Mack or Miles Sanders, but I want your thoughts down below. Or give me a new trade that I did not include here on my list of 5. I'm going to read the comments here and see what you guys think. Okay, all we have for today on our Atlanta Falcons trade idea video. Plenty more content coming up the next couple of days and weeks as we get ready for a Sunday matchup against the Carolina Panthers and a chance to go to 4-3 on the year. Make sure you guys are subscribed for all of that great content. Again, all time for today on our Atlanta Falcons trade video. I'm your host, Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.